What if I told you everything you've ever learned about history is a lie? Not just a few things, not just a few shady dates or suspicious wars. I mean everything. The timeline, the stories, the people, the empires, it's all been manufactured. We've been fed a fantasy, written by the people who took over after the last reset. And guess what? That reset wasn't that long ago. Even 80 years ago is a complete mystery. Think about that. Someone who's 80 years old today was just being born back then, and they didn't see what happened. They weren't there to verify anything. So how do we know what happened? We're told about it in school, we see it in documentaries, we read it in history books, but those books weren't written by regular people. They were written by powerful men, kings, bankers, rulers, people with everything to gain by lying. And those books? They tell you the pyramids were tombs. They say ancient people dragged multi-ton stones through the desert with ropes. They tell you that we went from living in caves to building skyscrapers in a few hundred years, and that somehow all ancient technology was lost forever. Does that sound real to you? Because what I see are buildings that make no sense. I see architecture so massive, so detailed, so perfect, that we still can't recreate it. I see giant cathedrals with no rebar, no electricity, yet they somehow have perfect acoustics and strange antennas at the top. I see star forts, massive geometric fortresses, scattered across the world, all built to the exact same design, and nobody knows who made them. These weren't made by peasants with hammers. They were made by the Tartarians, an old world civilization that lived in harmony with the earth, harnessed free energy from the atmosphere, and built with beauty and precision. And then they were wiped out. The story goes like this. In the early 1800s, a worldwide catastrophe hit, a mud flood. Not a myth. Real evidence shows buildings buried multiple stories underground. You can still see it today. Windows that open into dirt, doors halfway buried, streets that had to be dug out. Why would anyone build a door underground? They didn't. The buildings were buried. A wave of mud covered the world, and only a few survived. After that, the new rulers moved in. They didn't build the cities, they found them empty, deserted, silent. So they claimed them, cleaned them up, and rewrote the history. That's why in city after city, you'll hear the same story. Oh, this town was founded in 1850. Then you walk around and see stone palaces, copper domes, and structures far beyond what anyone could build back then. It's a joke. Do you really think settlers in wagons built capitol buildings with giant stone pillars and complex domes in just a few years? Do you really think they had the tools to carve perfect sculptures into solid marble? With no electricity? We're being lied to. Our history is made up. And the people who made it up, they did it to take control. They created empires, kings, revolutions, heroes, all out of thin air. They invented timelines, forged documents, and taught it in schools, so every generation after that would believe the same story. They created the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the British Empire. Neat, clean timelines to make it all seem real. But dig a little deeper and it all falls apart. Ancient Rome looks suspiciously like 1800s Europe. Greek statues have identical faces. Maps from the 1600s show Tartaria as a massive nation covering all of Russia, parts of Asia, and even North America. Yet by the 1900s, poof, it's gone. Why don't we learn about Tartaria? Why was it erased? Because they don't want you to know there was a civilization before this one, a civilization that was more advanced, a civilization that didn't need banks, didn't need fossil fuels, didn't need corrupt governments. Instead of history, they gave us Hollywood. Instead of truth, they gave us textbooks. Instead of memory, they gave us myths, and yet they couldn't erase everything, because here's what they can't fake. The stories passed down from our families, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they remember a different world. They talk about buildings that don't exist anymore, trains that went faster than today, towns that were cleaner, stronger, and safer, and yet history says we're more advanced now. That's the biggest joke of all. If we're so advanced, why can't we build the same cathedrals? Why does modern construction look like trash compared to what they had in the 1800s? Why do we demolish these old masterpieces instead of restoring them? Because those buildings are the last proof of the old world. And the system doesn't want you asking questions. They want you distracted. They want you online, scrolling, consuming. They want you scared, confused, dependent. They don't want you to realize that we're standing in the middle of a giant lie, that your city, your town, your whole world is built on top of something else. We live in a ghost world, a reset world, and a stolen world. And every day that we keep quiet, they win. But here's the good news. People are waking up. People are filming these buildings, sharing the truth, asking their elders, digging up old books, old photos, real memories, because the truth doesn't come from governments and it doesn't come from universities. It comes from you, from your eyes, your ears, your family, your instincts. History is not what they told us. And it never was. So if you're hearing this now, remember, you're not crazy, you're not alone. You're part of something big. You're part of the generation that breaks the spell. The old world is calling, and the lies can't hold forever.